Hello everyone, another video, this time on the existence of false entities, false gurus, fake gurus, however you want to call them. All these things that people think they need and they in fact do not. As humanity, as humankind, we're very prone to being told what to do due to the absence of personal will, freedom, call it what you will. But we've all developed this really crucial tendency to be told what to do. On the one hand, due to the lack of personal fulfillment and purpose, fear, lack of guidance, whatever. But it is very concerning to me to see so many people falling into the trap of fake gurus and people who actually address themselves as gurus. And because in the end, it is all an identity. You have to understand that everything we are in life is an image, a thought, a form. And the only way that can come to be is by us focusing on it, by us focusing our conscious attention to it and trying to materialize it through focused effort, through repetition. And one must ask himself or herself, is that genuine? Is that really real? Is that something we want to do with our lives and to be doing for the rest of our lives? The trap that occurs here is the experience of a sensation or a feeling or a situation that can trigger a tremendous amount of joy, love, emotions, and overall positive experience. Now, what happens in the mind is that attachment to that experience. So then the next time we do something, it is very important that we understand that we do it because we want to do that and explore and expand and take it further, not so that we can experience that same sensation again. Because what will happen inevitably is that, one, we will experience that and it just won't be the same. We will try to reenact all the conditions and recreate all the environmental factors that contributed to that event happening, but it just won't be the same because we arrive at the place of comparison. So we compare the events that happened in the past to what's happening right now. And therefore we lose the essence of what is, and we are never actually fully present and mindful of what is happening in this present moment. On the other hand, if we focus too much on the actual event, and if we focus so much on the outcome, then we once again lose the focus and the concentration from what actually is, which requires nothing else but awareness. We need awareness and conscious attention to be able to experience the various aspects of our existence and to simply sense through our senses the situations and everything that encompasses and builds our experience. We are not able to do that if we are so focused on, say, the outcome of this video. If I focus so much on how many people are going to see it, is this going to be a good video? Am I questioning myself and how I'm doing? That I'm already not focusing on what I'm saying and the essence of it and it being genuine. I'm focusing on the outcome, improving that outcome as much and as best as I can, and therefore losing the essence of the present moment. Because me thinking about what is going to happen will only increase the anxiety and the doubt and the fear. Unless, of course, I'm capable of just hacking my emotions and saying, this is going to be a wonderful video, this is going to be a huge success, as I am now actually. I'm accessing that now, but I don't want that to get in the way of me making this video. And it's easy to get into this constant oscillation between the two and not be in the moment of what we are doing. And therefore, as a consequence, wanting to be somewhere else, someone else, and completely abolish the present of our experience. We all have ambitions, dreams, hopes, but they all stem and derive from the ego and what we think we lack. And when I look around, I look at my own life, I look at my own home, the place that I call home at the moment, and I see that if there is nothing that I really, really need, then I do have things that I want and that make my existence enjoyable. And it is only in that moment of realization and in that space of realizing that I do have sufficient resources to not just survive, which is the purpose of the ego, but thrive. And in that point of thriving, I can actually expand and grow and create without much focus on, for example, this desired outcome ultimately, but just to be and enjoy and admire my life for what it is. So pure mindfulness and awareness, because that is the only thing that is real to the mind. Everything else is imaginary. The future that we think of, the future that we want to have, that is all something that hasn't even happened yet. And yet we are so focused on it, and we are able to even sacrifice our own present for the sake of a better future. Now, there is a lot of good discussion on this and why that can actually be beneficial, and I will cover that in my future videos, mentioning wonderful examples of people such as Jordan Peterson, whom I personally love. And it will also be shown how that can be a positive shift and change if used well, and if we're actually able to focus on the desired outcome, but without putting too much resistance to our own lives and what our lives actually are. Because we focus so much on the next job, the next higher salary, the next apartment, the next partner, that we really, really lose the essence of the moment in which we are right now. And I'm sure you've heard this so many times before from so many people doing the same thing as I am. But here's the difference. There are people who will want your money and your resources and your attention to teach you how to tap into this, to tell you the steps you should do, take, what you must do and say and think to achieve that state. And I will go into the details of that in another video. But what I want to tell to you now is that I personally do not trust someone who knows nothing about my life, the way my life is, the way I am, and comes to me and offers me to help me. Because the very nature of reciprocal altruism and how we are as a species, not of course ignoring the positive aspects of our existence, but we help each other if it's mutually beneficial. And we have to address that, and we have to not forget that every so-called guru that offers to help us with something ultimately wants something in return. Because the people who do this, the people who truly help each other and others for just the sake of it, are in fact people that are aware and conscious and are not stuck in the perpetual loop of thinking about the future. And only these kinds of people can actually help us by gifting us that wonderful awareness and presence, which is what we deeply and truly want, which is intimacy, which is what we truly crave. However, if that is presented as, for example, someone being a guru or a healer or a coach, then the question arises as to how authentic and truthful that is, and does that person really know about you and your life and your suffering, what you're going through, and is that person actively involved in that? And I noticed this growing trend of people who simply recognize their empathetic awareness and character, and who simply choose to monetize it. And I don't think there's many things wrong with that per se. But at the same time, I think that the idea is quite absurd, because each and every one of us has that power and that ability to tap into that awareness and simply hold ourselves in that. Because please don't forget, you are your best friend. You are your best therapist. You need no one else but you, and you are ultimately on your own. And this is not a nihilistic idea. This is not a negative idea. This is the most beautiful thing to realize, because it completely liberates you from the shackles of being constantly dependent on someone else's approval, someone else's thought, someone else's comment. And it will simply elevate your existence to such a level that your life will become not just worth living, it will constantly grow and expand. And as there are people who offer to take your money, attention, and time to give you this, I'm giving you this for free simply by telling you it's possible. I do it, and so do many others. You simply have to ask yourself, what is it that is truthful and most important to you, and how far you're willing to go to preserve that. Because if you keep constantly betraying yourself and asking salvation, finding salvation in someone who is not you, somewhere where is not here, and constantly wandering and seeking something that you can't even define yourself, then you're probably trapping yourself in a very, very deep loop that is very difficult to get out of. And I don't mean to scare you when I say this. I'm simply trying to imply to the fact that you don't have to do that. You really don't have to suffer at all. You can learn how to suffer, and suffer proudly, because existence is suffering, judging just by the very fact that we are going to die one day. And the natural escapism from that thought is, but we are eternal, but we are in the present. And that is exactly the trick of this. By knowing that, you become more mindful and aware of what your life is, and at the same time, you accept your mortality, you accept your limitations, and your life just becomes, I'm not gonna tell you. Check it out for yourselves. Try to just think. Just ask yourselves, where is all this coming from? My desires, my dreams, my hopes, my expectations, because they come from somewhere. And as much as they are a cause of our happiness, and they contribute to our happiness, development, and growth, they are also the cause of our suffering. So go into it. Just ask yourselves this. I'm simply putting this out there because I love speaking about this, and I love sharing these ideas with people who want to learn more about themselves and their own nature with as little external guidance as possible. Because the most important task in your life is to ask yourself what your life is about. And no one else can answer that question but you. So I leave you with that. And that is it for now. For this video at least. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate that you made it to the end of this video. I'm going to continue making videos because I genuinely enjoy this, and I want this message to be spread as far as possible for free, no cost, nothing, as it should be, because freedom should be free to all of us, and it starts with the freedom of the mind. So if you like this channel and this video, please like, please share, please subscribe, just do what you will. And you are welcome to, of course, put your opinion and however you feel about this video and what this has woken up in you in the comments below. And thank you. Just thank you so much for being brave and taking this Promethean step towards this incredible journey and liberating yourself from all the restrictions that exist all around you. Bye.